All right. Just getting settled here. Just getting settled. Okay. I wanted to show something on computer share, but I want to make sure before I show it that everything would be safe. So I may have to do this a different day, but it is for something I'm going to go over later, so I'm not going to worry about it now. But yeah, okay, let's jump right into it. Definitely a spicy day today in terms of price action. That is for sure. And I appreciate all of you joining me tonight. Let's switch so you can see me. Hey, what up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, whether you're watching this live, you're watching this back, whatever it is, much appreciated. But jumping right into it, solid day, up 9.75%. I think it was funny, there was an article like, oh yeah, GameStop is up. I wanted to touch on this article too, but there's an article not on Yahoo Finance where GameStop's up because they've launched a new GameStop Pro program instead of Power Up Rewards, and now they're going to charge 25 a year instead of 15. That's the world maker. Oh my God, it's up so much. I don't know about that. Every fourth week of the month in May for the past few years has been very big price action. So it's a long week ahead. Still got 4 more days, so we'll see if that rings true. It was already running up going in, so I just don't think that's the case. I think it's a little bit of positive earnings being priced in because realistically, it seems more and more likely that they'll be profitable, showing what the last numbers showed. And of course, that doesn't guarantee the next numbers, but I really feel like that's where we're moving. I think a lot of other individuals feel like that. And I think anybody really paying very close attention, which if I was betting against a company, I would pay close attention. So I would think those betting against it are paying just as close of attention and coming to some kind of realization, hey, this thing is going to be hard to go bankrupt, right? Or it's not really going bankrupt. That's not the route it looks to be going. So at what point do you swap sides potentially? Maybe you're not in the position at all. You go long. So maybe a little bit of those kind of things going on right now. But of course, stock price is never a complete representation of what's going on with the company underlying. So always take the stock price with a grain of salt and look at the company themselves. So that's why quarterly earnings are so exciting because it tells you exactly what's happening. And there's all this talk about GameStop Pro being the new program being put into place. I mean, it makes sense. I've seen the leaked emails, and it looks like somebody from head of customer service or head of rewards, whatever, probably sent it out to all the store managers to pass it along to their teams and start preparing for it. From my time at Marshalls, that was kind of the structure of how it worked. So it looks like probably a store manager just screenshotted it, sent it to one of those like GameStop hating websites to write an article about it, whatever. But where I'm going with this is, remember how I said just like 2 minutes before, only what GameStop says I'll believe, or like why the quarterly earnings is so exciting is because it tells you exactly what's happening relative to the noise or the stock price, or I guess not relative to, whatever. Point being, I'll believe GameStop Pro is the new program being put into place when GameStop comes out and says it themselves. And also, I'll want to know the exact details from GameStop, not from just some tiny memo that somebody took a picture of. I think there's more details to come. I think it's definitely exciting, and I like what I see initially upon a glance, but I'm taking it all with a grain of salt because until GameStop themselves is like, hey, this is what we're doing, I'm not going to just go, oh, okay, yeah, I believe it. I mean, you can't. You really can't nowadays. I'm not saying I think it's fake, but I'm just saying to really fully digest it, we need to see GameStop talk about it. And it seems like something that will come up in the next quarterly earnings, considering from the rumor, or the screenshots rather, it's supposed to come into play June 27th, 2023. That's about a month and a half from now. Actually, more like a month. So that would be the quarter we're in. So for the quarter two, Q1's already done. They're going to report for Q1. So I would imagine saying, hey, towards the end of Q2, we're starting to implement this. And by June 27th, it's almost going to be the end of the next quarter, right? Because it would be February, March, April, and then May, June. Okay, so they'll have 1 month of the new program in place because Q2 will end at the end of July. Because GameStop's calendar, keep in mind, it ends every January. So January 31st is the end of their fiscal year. While it may not be the end of the regular year, it's the end of their reporting year. So Q1 is February, March, April. Q2 is May, June, July. Q3 is August, September, October. Q4, November, December, January. Check the chat real quick. Jackson's, what up? First one here. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was kind of on time tonight, too. Just for you, man. I got you. I'm John Lacey. What up? Thank you for being here. Got to have another Web3 convo soon. We've been talking about that. It's going to come sooner than later. Also, I got to get another stream going with Nathan soon. I definitely, some of the thing I struggle with is staying organized as an individual because I just have all these different ideas and my brain's always going. So it's hard for me to keep up with things. So definitely trying to keep things going with them and some other things. I know I had talked about in the past. My grandpa was going to come on because he's worked on Wall Street. So I did talk to him over the weekend. Also starting to set that up, coming down the line again. But definitely something I want to do, an interview with him. Hello, that was a fun trading day. For trading day, can't even read. Crayon Green, what up? Thank you for being here. And yes, it was. Honestly, I wasn't watching that much. Because I really try not to look at my phone too much at work, and when I do, I try and go on Twitter or do something useful. Like I can't consume that much because I'm not trying to be like on my phone all day, but I try to check in obviously what's happening. And also, I don't want to be that guy in the office that's like, oh, it's that kid who's always on his phone. You know what I mean? So I try, and so of all the things to pay attention to, I try not to the price action. But on a day like today, I'm not gonna lie, I started peeking a lot. Once I saw like here, I was like, oh, okay. An hour into the day, I'm like, oh, okay, GameStop's up pretty good. Because I think on Twitter, I saw someone was tweeting, like, oh, GME's running or whatever. Keeps running. And then throughout, at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on it. Then here, I didn't really look. And the end of the day, I'm like, damn, held up pretty nicely. Dope Joe, thank you for being here. What up? GME, yes, so. Fresh Maker, hey, what up? Thank you for being here. Hey, oh. I want to F GameStop in the $A $sign. All right, I mean, C-Row. If those are the kind of feelings you have for GameStop, you just have to express them, man. You just got to express them. I accept you. Jackson's G-Pop, difficult for Credit Suisse to find shares for Pulte, very bullish. Oh, I'm sorry, computer share? Yes, I wanted to get that right here. Get to that. We already have that in Germany. It was $17.99 a year. Now it's $24.99, and it's called GameStop Pro Club. All right, nice. I like to hear that, Fresh Maker. That is good to know. Any other insights you have potentially, definitely throw them in the chat, but that's interesting that they started rolling it out internationally already. It's a little bit of a different form and obviously a little bit of a different currency, but it also kind of puts the connection in my head. It's like, oh, well, when they were opening a new type of store, they did it in Milan, Italy. So I find it interesting that they kind of do some of these things internationally before going domestically to the United States. Now, there's anything wrong with that, but just kind of interesting. It's like, I guess because it's smaller markets to kind of test the waters and see if something they really want to implement into the United States, where most of their sales coming from, not all of it, but I would say the bulk is there. So that's kind of maybe why they're doing that. Tetron Gang, stand up. What up, Ryan Sung? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Joe Romano, thank you for being here. What up? Yeah, time's running out. Time to rock it, maybe. Hit that like. Eric, what up? Thank you for being here. Yes, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. But yeah, computer share emailed me. It's having issues processing my GameStop purchases. Coincidence? So Pulte apparently made his purchase the end of last week, but keep in mind, orders don't go through right away on computer share. So it's almost like today, was this his order in here they tried to push through or something? I don't know. Nobody can know for certain. He didn't say anything as far as I'm aware in follow-up of this. No stock available. I guess the price will have to go up to find some availability. No more shares for whale orders. Of all the people in the saga, it was Pulte who bought the last share. Yeah, this definitely needs more context. Huge load. The air, it's spicy right now. I like that. Spicy. Can't purchase fake shares like brokers. You need to find shares. It's getting harder to get GME shares because it's already an oversold stock. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I also feel like my last DRSs have been a little bit slower, but not anything out of the ordinary to the point I'd raise eyebrows. But also, I'm only DRSing a few shares at a time because I just buy my broker DRS. But this is something I want to touch on after. And I'll hit the chat one more time. I forgot to check the price for the day just till now. Good morning. Booster there. Ashley, what up? Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's always fun to look at the price and be like, damn, that's what happened today. But something I do want to touch on, since we're kind of on the computer share topic, I was going to go on this later, but let's just go right to it. So I'm in a weird spot right now because ultimately I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only here to share my personal thoughts and opinions. But I've made the decision personally to go book for my shares. I don't want any plan shares. I don't want a fractional share. So originally I was like kind of half in on this idea, half out. What I mean is I terminated my plan a while back, right? Like when all this conversation started, I originally did my first stream on it, and I started looking into it, and I'm like, okay, I don't want plan because something just isn't right here. And how Computer Share is representative by Ding and Co. or something weird, Ding and Co. or Dingo and Co. I forget exactly. I'd have to look it up. But ultimately, I was okay. I want all my shares out of the plan, but I don't want to sell anything, right? So I don't want to sell the fractional. So I terminated my plan. So all of my shares moved to book, and then I just had the fractional in plan, right? And now that that's the case, and then I canceled the sell order at that time for the fractional share because I was like, oh, I don't even want to sell fractional. But now understanding what I understand that, hey, if you have a fractional share, that makes the heat lamp due diligence, which you haven't read it already, definitely check it out. It's very interesting. In time, what the heat lamp due diligence basically says is in times of demand, and Computer Share's own terms and services say this, in times of high demand, where there's, for example, a lot of volume, which coincidentally last time GameStop reported DRS numbers was a lot of volume, shares can be borrowed from Computer Share in plan name because it could be through a representative Computer Share has, which is like Ding & Co. or something weird like that. I'm not explaining exactly, but I want to finish my story here. So at that time, right, I had terminated the plan. I canceled the fractional shares. Now I'm like, okay, I want to completely terminate the plan. I want no more plan, no more fractionals. I go to do it, and the terminate button's gone. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, oh my god. So I messaged Computer Share. I tried calling them. Oh, I don't know. It didn't go through, or I don't know. I just was like, okay, let me just message them. I messaged them like, yeah, you just have to sell that fractional now, and it'll be the remaining one. I placed a sell order for the fractional share, and that was last week, and it hasn't gone through. And now I notice I have 1 point something in plan. So they automatically moved one share to plan after I went to sell the last fractional, which shows me like there's reason they would want to share in plan, because if I sold my last fractional, everything's booked. Why would they automatically move to plan? So that was just really odd to me. I'm going to check chat real quick, then I have more to go on this. No Dingleberries, book kings. You know what up, Ryan? What up? Crayon says yes. No sell, no sell. So sad an unproven theory gets pushed so hard. It's Dingo, the Australian dog-like animal. CS is an Aussie company. Thank you, Dingo. Okay, so where I'm going with this, though, is number one, why is that happening? Number two, I have a couple Computer Share accounts. I added a beneficiary just because, God forbid, I want my shares to go to someone in my family, right? So I was like, God forbid, I just don't want to think about that. But any new shares after I did that started getting DRS'd were put into a separate account without plan. So I don't have any plan there. I only have plan from when I added a beneficiary like a year ago or something. So a lot of my shares are pure book. So I have two different account numbers. So reading the heat lamp theory and some of these different things, I was like, okay, well, I don't understand how if there is book and plan, it's under the same account number. I got another account number for another set of book. But how is it book and plan has the same account number? How can that truly be differentiated against? That's what didn't make sense to me. So I bought one share of Nordstrom on Fidelity. Then I bought 1 point something shares through Computer Share. And then I DRS'd my share from Fidelity to Computer Share. And now I have 2 point something shares. It's under the same account number, dividend reinvestments on. And then I messaged on Computer Share and I said, so if dividend reinvestments on for plan, the book share dividend is going to go straight to my bank account, correct? No, it'll all be reinvested. How could a share that's book be reinvested? And it's under the same account number. So that kind of told me, and we'll see when the dividend comes through, I'll show you guys where it lands and what exactly happens. But if theoretically GameStop were to issue a dividend and it's reinvestment on for plan, or whether it's on or off, it just shows you that it could be reinvested as book. And how is that the case if book is truly off the market? So that's kind of what opened my eyes to. I don't know if I described that the best. And I'm still putting all this together, but that is kind of where I'm like a lot of, and now you see this happening with Pulte, just a lot of interesting events unfolding very quickly. And like, why can't they buy shares? Why can't my fractional share sell? Why is a one share moving to plan? Why is dividends on plan being reinvested, but book is also when book is supposed to be pure book? So it's getting spicy. I would say that. And the volume is extremely low. A day like today to move 10% and only 6 million volume. By the way, 1 million of this volume came in like after hours, which just off exchange, just pops up out of nowhere. So I know I feel like this has been said many times, but it really feels like everything coming together. And it's probably felt like this a gazillion times in the past, right? But it really feels like it now because the company is really driving forwards. Their bottom line is really starting to look better. And on top of it, a lot of this controversy with computer share, like there, how would I put this? There wouldn't be attention on it unless it was really an issue, right? Or unless there's like really potentials that it would cause a problem, so it has to be flooded. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but I don't know. I'm gonna check chat. Funny how direct buys trouble going through, but let's agree to stop using direct buys. Who doesn't want direct buys? Think. What is it? Funny a direct buy has trouble going through, but let's agree to stop using direct buys. Who doesn't want direct buys? Think. Now I see what you're saying, Eric, but at the same time, I feel like book, you know for sure it's booked in your name, whereas plan, just even there's a slight chance that your shares could be borrowed in some shape or form or utilized. That kind of takes away the whole point of computer share. So I couldn't have that in any shape or form. And I'm going to keep digging on this. So I do plan to come with more information. We shall see if it proves itself in the next DRS report. I like that, Ryan. Exactly. Numbers don't lie. I'm very, very curious about the DRS number. Pulte's buy will not be included in it. That's something important to note because it will be for Q2 as we are in Q2 right now. However, if it's like the last quarterly earnings where year earnings, right? Because yeah, it was the end of the year. It was as of around the time of reporting instead of as of the end of the quarter. So maybe Pulte's buy will be mixed in. And it's really interesting because now he's buying right before Q2 is reported. So if it's as of the end of Q1. If it's as of the end of Q1, his number won't be included. But if the DRS section again says very specifically as of like a week before the actual report comes out, then his would be included. I think with Pulte, there's a 250K limit on computer share buys. That would make terrible voice crack. That would make sense, Ryan Son. Good looks. Wendy, thank you for being here. What up? Project Burpees, thank you for being here. What up? Hassle the brokers rather than computer share. In my honest opinion, the brokers that split the shares erroneously are short the shares they split traditionally versus dividend split, and shop the stores. Yes, always shop GameStop. That's number one. Even if they can borrow them, who is it hurting at only 25 or 25 of 28 of the percent being locked? Again, think. Well, ultimately, too, I do want to step back and say what's really most exciting right now is the company being profitable on the bottom line and having a strong balance sheet in this high interest rate environment because they don't have to take on debt that's high interest rate. They can earn a high interest rate on their cash and marketable securities. So putting DRS aside, that is really the number one driving factor to me. However, all of this underlying just makes it that much more spicy, in my opinion, and just the icing on the cake, however you want to look at it. So ultimately, that's really what's driving things forward. But I have to read these back real quick to make sure I really understand. Hassle the brokers rather than computer share. The brokers that split the shares are the short, and they split traditionally versus dividend split, and shop the stores. Yeah, no, I personally think it's best to buy on the broker and then transfer it in, because when you're doing that, number one, it's already automatically book, and number two, yeah, make the brokers and computer share go through a pain. And to me, as long as my cost basis is transferring over, I view that as the most simple, in my opinion. But I also understand if you're trying to buy consistently, just on a weekly basis, it makes sense for you to do the direct buy. But also very clearly too, do your research, do your due diligence. I'm just talking about this out loud. Make your own decision if you want book or plan or where you want your shares in general. It's your money, your asset. So it's really important you make that determination for yourself. You don't just blindly follow me or blindly follow anybody else out there. Like, Do your research, do your due diligence. Everybody watching this is intelligent. You can do it. I believe in you. Make your own decisions. So don't just say, oh, well, it's just what everybody's doing. So definitely stick with what you believe to be best. I want to be very clear about that. Even if they could borrow them, who is it hurting at only 25 28% of the float being locked? Again, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't know because nobody knows, right? I'll be honest, like nobody truly knows what's going to happen or what the effects of DRS look like on a long-term scale. This has never happened on a long-term period of time with any one company of shares being directly registered. So what we will continue to see in the coming quarters will be really interesting because, in my opinion, I think GameStop net 2023 profitable. Free cash flow, positive. Net income, positive. EPS, positive. Everything positive all overall. Maybe revenue stagnant again. That's fine. But now you have a situation where the company has continued to operate the same as is. Let's say that happens, right? Everything's positive on the bottom line. Top line revenue stays the same. Now you have 3 consecutive years of approximately the same revenue, but the bottom line has now greatly improved. So all the company has to do is just drive forwards, and because they're getting cash through free cash flow, because their net income positive, all those good things are happening. They don't have to force anything. Well, I don't know how I want to put this, but they can issue a dividend, right? That's creating shareholder value. They could make an acquisition that would add to their total revenue over time. And if it's something that integrates within their business, then also that could improve margins for said company that they're acquiring. And then they would also obtain those margins because obviously they will have acquired them. They could also make a small investment in another company that they believe in that's relative in the gaming space that they're going to partner with in some shape or form. So maybe it's not a full acquisition, it's a partial acquisition, whether it's private shares or public shares. I think it would have to be something specific to gaming. Or maybe they go down a new business venture, such as creating more games themselves in-house. I don't know if that would be the best move without some kind of partner involved, but that's just like another option there. So my point is, when they have the cash coming in, they can utilize it to grow their business because they're operating efficiently. So I'm not even that concerned about top line revenue. I think that naturally comes with time of them operating as is efficiently and then using what they earn to the best of their advantage. So part of the reason I think it's so nice that you have guys like Ryan Cohen and executives that lots of individuals believe in running the company is those decisions are being made by them. So you want people in place that you can trust to make those decisions because we can vote as shareholders, right? And of course, I'm speaking for myself, generally, allegedly, whatever. I'm not saying any kind of we or collectiveness or anything like that. But my point is, you need to have faith in the people running the company because at the end of the day, they are making these decisions. And the small decisions, such as, oh, well, should this store stay open? What do the demographics look like here? What's popular in this area? All those different small kinds of things. Balance sheet is number one priority. DRS is cherry on top. I like that, Ryan. I absolutely like that. If DRS didn't hurt anyone, I don't think it would get suppressed by mainstream media. I think you're right, Ryan Sung. That's a very valid point. It's like, why is computer share so frowned upon? I go back and forth. It's all so bamboozling, and I think many people do. And ultimately, the coolest part is everybody still likes GameStop, right? Like whether you're for DRS, against DRS, you're for book, you think plan is fine, whatever it is. If you're still in GameStop, that's still a lot of shares. And I'm almost of the opinion, and Marantz was saying this in one of his recent videos that I was watching, where he's like, let them short it. Or he's saying, if there is funds out there that just want to keep betting against it, that's only going to hurt them in the long run. So I'm honestly at the point, I'm like, short it endlessly. I don't care. Because if the company is turning a profit, and you have people running the company that actually have the best interests of the company in line with their intentions, in the sense what their paycheck is partly in shares, so they're incentivized by the success of the company, then they're going to do things to continue to grow and succeed. And that happens through dividends, share buybacks, acquisitions, new business ventures. And it doesn't happen overnight. But when you're managing your capital efficiently, especially in a high interest environment, you're earning like almost 5% alone on a money market account just because interest rates are so high. So just operating efficiently is such a massive difference maker. And in my opinion, like growth and everything like that just comes with it because you have people steering the ship that know what they're doing. And I think these 2 years now that we've seen of the new executives in place are really showing us that. It's like, oh, well, GameStop's going to do this. Oh, GameStop's going to do that. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, well, the stock keeps going down. Okay, look at it now, number one. And number two, look at what the company's done in the past 2 years. What other company has done this over the course 2 years, especially with everything going on? Everyone in like 2021 was like, "Oh, GameStop's missing out. Oh, they created an NFT marketplace at the end of the hype cycle." It's of my viewpoint that they've been ahead of everything. They fixed their balance sheet, took out a very small loan with under 2% interest, which it doesn't even make sense for them to. They could repay it all, right? Immediately, those French loans. But it doesn't even make sense to because they'll earn more on cash equivalents and marketable securities right now. So why not just pay that down slowly? Because that money will literally earn you more with the current interest rates. So all of these different things coming together really just make it happen. And it's really about the numbers and maintaining the strong balance sheet because with the right people in charge, all of these things will happen over time. And anybody betting against the company is just going to be absolutely torched by that. And the more people that bet against it, as Roaring Kitty said, short sellers are just future buyers. It's just a matter of when they're future buyers. So long as the company drives forwards and succeeds and manages cash efficiently, it's as simple as that. I mean, of course, there's going to be many other bumps along the way and many other factors, but that's what it boils down to, in my opinion, here. Preach it, Tetron. What up, Mixtape? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, on a little bit of a rant tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't find my groove lately. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I feel like in the past, you used to be like, okay, come home, video, stream, or this or that. Or like, I'm just like all over lately. I don't know, but just keep driving forward, keep figuring out as I go. But I wanted to check this out. I saw this. I didn't even read it, but the Apes Strong Together documentary, which I don't know, is it going to be stupid? Because it seems like every documentary that's come out about what's happened doesn't describe what's happening, if that makes sense. So, and if I'm somehow in this, that'd be nuts, guys. Someone please tell me if I'm. I'm gonna check it out. But nah, that'd be. I want to see a guy. I want to see Morantz in here. I would love to see Morantz. Probably not because it's about like what happened, right? But we have no idea how or why. But our film Apes Strong Together has been released on Amazon a full 2 weeks ahead of our scheduled release date. Tinfoil securely fastened. As painful as that is not to have a smooth rollout, we are beyond excited to share this with you. Superstock has been home for us for little years now. From migration to this is fucking it. For those who don't know, it's not hard to find exactly who I am. I've long been here, see my brother, gotten to take the film. For those who don't want to look, I wasn't going to look, to be honest. Here's the short, long version. My brother and I are blue-collar dudes from Portland or Oregon. We don't come from much, but it's always been the oh my gosh, but art has always been the calling, and we've never had an option to follow the calling wherever it leads. To that end, we've always been ones to grind. My brother spent his 20s playing in a band while doing what he could to make ends meet. Classic story. He's a brilliant fucking musician and performer and crushed the local scene. I put most of my efforts towards film. I worked up to being an assistant director at an animation company called Laka. You might know some of the films we made. Coraline, Panner, Kubo, Two Strings, Not Missing Link. I remained there all the way up until the pandemic hit. Then was taking a shit one day. I saw a post on the gaming sub. That post happens to include snakes and bananas. And finally, I understood the whole short sweet concept I had been chattered about on the sub. When I heard the Tendy Man song, I was hooked. Soon may the Tendy Man come. That is an absolute classic. I called my bro and told him we got to buy GME, and we rode that fucking rocket all the way to the top. My brother was a bit slow on the draw and bought it at nearly the literal peak. Ouchie. For those who weren't there, it's really hard to excitement. Joy, okay, yes. So then the rug was pulled. Holy fuck, we were angry. Then the Hulu duck, we were more angry. Then the media would not stop blabbering about how this is a coordinated effort or how somehow it was our fault giant firms got caught with their pants down. We decided to hop on r/GME and make a post. Had a couple of rules. We're not going to do this unless people want it. We're going to crowdsource our initial lines of research. We're going to remain open and transparent throughout and answer all the time. That shit is exhausting. First question. I'm going to check chat real quick. Because honestly, this is the first I'm hearing this. I knew nothing about this. So I apologize if I was saying, like, oh, it's just another BS movie. Maybe it's not. Jimmy is being bought and created value at nearly 100 per split. It's not a meme stock. Much agreed, Ryan. Much agreed. We got a long way to go. Who else is excited for MOAS? I am. Stream BNJI? Hey, MOAS is not today, right? It's tomorrow. That's just what they say. But yeah, I'd say I'm excited. Netflix talk was painfully bad. Sir Moist, thank you for being here. Yeah, I caught, like, I don't even think I watched the whole thing. I think I caught, like, pieces of it, and I was like, this is garbage. You're doing great, buddy. Joe, thank you. I appreciate that. I realize, part of streaming, especially, and YouTube, is just, you just keep going. Because there's days you don't feel like making a video, or, like, I know what I want to say, and then, like, I start recording, it's not coming out right, and I'm like, oh, like, I have a video about to drop tonight. I already recorded it. It's just doing the copyright check or whatever YouTube does before uploading it. So I'm going to put it to live right after this. Actually, maybe I'll do it right now. Let's see. Yeah, no, copyright checks completed 16 minutes ago. Let's go. But basically, I was talking about my next point that I'm about to jump into right here. But let's just get this up. Public. All right, boom, it's up. Check it out after this stream. I really appreciate that, and drop a like. But let me finish reading this right here, and then I'm gonna jump into kind of what I made the video on. I'll talk a little more in the video, but it's the same idea. That is the movie from the Mulligan Brothers that I asked you about a few weeks ago. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Freshmaker. Wait, do I? Let me see. Oh, okay, yes, because Finley and Quinn. Okay, gotcha. I was probably being stupid and didn't understand what you said at the time. Gotcha. Okay. So we had a couple rules. Our story 2, we're not outsiders. We are not corporate media, mainstream media. Okay. Perfect. So I want to watch this tonight. Okay. I'm watching this tonight then. That's for sure. So it was March. We knew the sub wanted to make shit happen. We now had to figure out how we were going to get it done. We had some rules for this too. No corporate money or influence in production. No investors will have creative control. My brother and I have complete and utter say in what makes it to the final cut. It was a tall order. What investor in the right mind was going to trust us to make an expensive, high-quality doc, not to have any say in how it turns out because the filmmakers are paranoid and stubborn. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. So we decided to crowdfund. Crowdfunding is not something to be ashamed of. It takes money to buy whiskey, y'all. Movies are expensive as fuck to make. Shit, legal fees are in tens of thousands, insurance, etc., etc. Power to the creators, right? That's right. Crowdfunding was a way for us to raise our budget without concern over a corporate entity wanting to affect the narrative. It was a way to make this thing the way apes would want it to be. It was simple. Those who were interested enough to back the projects could do so they choose. Then we'd made a movie with that money. Easy. By the time we had migrated to Superstonk, it was incredible to watch so many move so quickly. But as the sub is not monetized, etc., we never pushed our crowdfunding campaign here. We took to the Bird app for that, which was bonkers, but ultimately successful. Damn, I don't know how I didn't come across this previously. Or like, where's your wallet? I want to send you something. Oh, Project Burpees. I appreciate that. It's in the description. I don't think it's in this description, but it's in my video's description. Um, I'll send it. I'll send it after to you if you want, or if you want to just check the video I just uploaded. It should be in there in the description. Okay. By the time we migrated to Supersonic, it was incredible to watch move so quickly. My brother and I then put our life savings into the film. We YOLO'd. I quit a very high-paying job that was just about to let me pay off my debt. My wife was so awesome and let me. Respect to her, man. Respect to her, and respect for what they're doing here. We were in debt to the film and still are. Chances of making our money back in the documentary are slim to none. Anyone who thinks I'm going to make money on a documentary needs to do a bit of research. People make docs do it because they're compelled to, as we were to shine a light on something that hasn't been explored. In this case, the truth of what happened in the sneeze and what is still happening today. All right. We then went on the road. We paid crew, fellow technicians, spoke to experts, normal people, semesters, retail investors, YouTubers, DD writers, fucking everyone. We paid ourselves less than minimum wage. That's long gone. We're broke as fuck now, lol. And made sure that above all else, we were making it. What we were making was honest, truthful, cinematic, and as all gets out. Our goal from the beginning was to tell your story to retail investors, so a golden opportunity took it, but decided to stay after they got fucked. That's a very accurate way to put it. We wanted the public to know these investors are not a bunch of basement-dwelling dipshits looking to scam the system, but a super diverse group of people who were all finally putting back the curtain on our rigged, complicated, compartmentalized, fraudulent, one-sided shit show capital markets. Even those who are invested in other stocks are a part of the broader story here. Even people you disagree with, hell, even bad guys are part of it. This isn't a hype film, it's a documentary. There are people you disagree with, and that's fucking great. I like that. This this was and should be a place of disclosure. Just like our markets, disagreement is the heart of discovery. Not price discovery in this case, but discovery of how we characterize this saga, how it should be presented, and to what degree our story should be shared with the masses. We are not a monolith. We all have opinions. I guess monolith. I have to look up a definition for that, but I can context clues understand saying we are not all robots. I comply. Everybody's individual thinkers. We all have opinions on what's most vital to convey and get general population to understand. Not everyone will agree, and that's okay. Shit, we prefer it. Cinema's powerful. We hope we can use the tools we have movie making to make sure there is a truthful, eye-opening, entertaining, well-researched, badass documentary you can hold up high, point to, and say, that's what's happening. I like that. If we can't take the time to have educated discourse, critically think for ourselves, and trust the ape next to us, we're truly lost. If you still have questions and are curious about the filmmaking process, how we did the film, us, pizza reference, whatever, post it on the AMA thread. We'll answer any and all questions. Do your own DD, ape no fight ape, be excellent to each other. We ask you to reserve judgment until you check it out. We think you're gonna fucking love it. If you have the urge to pirate it, please don't. We're just a little indie project, and many apes like yourselves put countless hours of time and effort into telling a story right. See you all on the moon. If you like it, please share it, review it on Amazon, rate on IMDb, everything. Yes, please do that. Yes, it's not over. Yes, we say that. Yes, dear S. No, Amazon doesn't own us. Please tune into the AMA on 6-5-2023. All right, how about that? I'm going to watch this tonight. I'm going to at least watch part of it. I tend to fall asleep watching TV late at night, so I'll probably fall. But to be clear, I lay down and I watch TV and fool myself. So not that I would fall asleep because it's boring. To be very clear, if the TV's on and I'm tired laying down, it doesn't matter how much I love what's on. I'm knocking out. So I can't promise I'll get through it tonight, but this has my attention. I'll find it. Good looks, Project Burpees. I appreciate that. They made a documentary before the event happened. Ain't watching that shit. Laughing my fucking ass off. Hey, stream BNJI. I mean, I'm watching it. I'm curious. It's interesting because this is saying it's still happening, whereas the other documentaries have said, hey, it's over. Oh, the bunch of basement dwellers. I like how he put it there. So that's interesting. Oh, I didn't even tweet out the stream. I just realized that. I'm going to do that real quick. Well, is it too late now? Nah, it's never too late. Give me a moment here. And what I want to talk about next is the rumored GameStop Pro that's about to drop. GameStop Pro in the sense they're new. Our boys at Kidioko, or what the heck is it? Kataku. I don't know. IrrelevantGames.com. That's what it says right there. Or IrrelevantGamingWebsite.com. But it's funny how all the articles have this negative spin on it, and people on a Twitter page, all these comments are like, I wouldn't pay $10 more. Where, all this different stuff. So these are the screenshots. I'm just gonna get this tweeted out. Just do a quick share. Twitter. So here it is. Beginning June 27th, my birthday, by the way, I will turn 23 the day that GameStop Pro launches. That'll be pretty sick. And it is funny, the articles are, oh yeah, this is why the price went up. Give me a break. Everyone today just decided, oh, I'm buying GameStop because of the new GameStop Pro membership instead of Power Up Rewards. Not funny. King Gennaro, laugh my ass off. What? I don't even know what that means. I thought you were reading his name. But am I on the live chat? Kotaku. Okay. Sorry, I just like clowning them because they just write garbage. But thank you. Ants, thank you very much. I am also horrible at pronouncing things, so I do apologize. But Kotoku, that makes sense. Thank you. Getting a little smarter every day out here. But beginning June 27th, 2023, GameStop Pro will be replacing our Power Up Rewards as our new benefits program. Members and associates will see updates throughout the GameStop Pro experience, including new branding, new benefits, and new ways to engage with the program. So, new branding, I think black and white because that's kind of what they've been going with lately, less of the red. That's kind of my thought there. The new benefits, I'll touch on that in a minute. New ways to engage with the program, I view that two ways. One, foot traffic, getting people in the store to engage because that's where they can just sell more product, right? More people in the store, as a general rule of thumb, is going to lead to more product sales over time. And when you have an experience in a store, that's also something very exciting. And maybe it leads somebody to enjoy the experience so much that they buy the product on the spot, things of that nature. And then at the next level, I wonder, is Web3 involved in some shape or form? Something I've been kind of keeping an eye on for a while is the company to find a way to turn real life items to have purpose in the world of Web3. So maybe not all items, but just in some shape or form where they could tie reality and and I don't want to say tie reality and metaverse together, but just kind of pulling together their core business and what they're trying to move into and develop with the shift of gaming into Web3. Not every game's going to shift there. It's not going to be overnight, and not everything's going to be perfect, but I think there may be something with that at some point. Like an idea I had a while back was, well, maybe every time you buy an item, you get an NFT of it. Like your receipt has something you scan to just automatically have it added to your wallet. And even if you say buy something like a Funko Pop, right? Something random. Maybe it's a digital item in your wallet, just so you have a digital version of it, number one. And number two, when there's some kind of metaverse thing people create, like there's games where you can use your items will just be able to be integrated right in, and then you build your house in some way. I mean, that's like I don't think people are gonna be like going getting GameStop metaverse and like, ooh, check out my home, bro. It's with all the stuff I bought every life at GameStop in a digital format. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying very loosely, in some way, I envision it in some shape or form tying together with their core business. In some way, every time you see a receipt, oh, why do they always talk about Web3 or what is this QR code every single time I buy something? Just something that can kind of tie it more together. I don't know if that entirely makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys think, but I just kind of view that as a potential way the program would engage people with Web3. I don't know if that makes sense, but teams have been listening to members' feedback and are excited to deliver a new, simplified, valuable program that gives members more reasons to shop at GameStop for their favorite games, collectibles, and more. So, in a sense, that second paragraph there would kind of contradict that. That's far from simple. That's taking things to a whole new level. But maybe it's about taking things to a whole new level in a very simple form. So, overall, though, I do want to clarify. I think the new program is mostly about bringing people in with foot traffic, just to overall increase sales and for the experiences that they're going to start to have in more stores. Think about it; they've already had experiences technically in terms of games. Remember, you can go in and you could just play a game. They don't all have that now. Maybe that starts to come back more. Maybe there's other stores like Milan, Italy, where they build a whole new level. Maybe it's like certain days they do virtual events with half the store. I don't know. Totally spitballing off the top of my head here. I'm gonna check chat. I'm glad Smashburger, I mean GameStop, is changing their logo. Damn. Yeah, no, I kind of like the black and white. I think it's pretty nice. Let's see. It's the Smashburger. Well, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like this one. It's so clean. Like I kind of like the clean look. But to keep going here. Oh yeah, and the new price is $25. So 5% off all collectibles, trading cards, toys, and apparel. 5% off all pre-owned products. 5% off all GameStop product protection plans in store. Additional 5% off GameStop brand products, excluding gift cards. Additional 5% off all clearance, and at least 4 pro weeks a year offering the best deals. So I want to break that down. Number one, additionally, it's important to get context. The new 5% benefit will stack with other promotions. For example, if clearance is 30% off, pros get 35, that additional 5%. However, a collectible in clearance will only be an extra 5% off, not an extra 10% off, because collectibles are an additional 5% off category, so is clearance, but you wouldn't be able to stack those together. You can just stack the clearance with the 5% essentially. But something I want to point out about each of these categories, generally, they're playing to their strengths here. And what I mean by that is collectibles, generally higher margin items. Pre-owned products, they generally make more money. Product protection plans, they're generally going to make more money because not everybody's going to need the protection unless something actually goes wrong, which more often than not, it doesn't. Or I'd like to think that. I mean, I'd like to think that it is that, like, generally speaking, on like a very simple wide scale, unless there's something happening, whether like in terms of poor production or poor refurbishing, then that might be an issue. But I think if that were the case, this is where I trust management, they would make the necessary adjustment to either cut that part out of their business or adjust it to make it better. But again, generally speaking here, if you look at all these categories like GameStop brand products, they're going to make more on that because it's their own branded product. And clearance, they're trying to get rid of it anyway. So they're kind of playing to their strengths here with the new program. That's how I see it, at least, where they're going to be making more money on these items anyway. So it makes sense to incentivize people to specifically buy those items more. They can afford that 5% off. Not that they can't afford to give points on other items, but to have people with the focus of these being the prime categories where you get 5% off, it is in line with where they would make the most money selling a certain type of product, if that makes sense. That was kind of my initial thought looking at that. And then one more point, and this has brought up some controversy again. You guys can let me know what you think if you'd like. Everything's rolling here. We're chilling. Beginning December 1st, 2023, any points earned more than 12 months from the date they are added to a member's account will expire. If a pro membership is not renewed, then all points will expire along with the membership. So some people are saying, oh, does that mean PowerUp Rewards points are going to go away? That's kind of how I read it at first too. But then I realized that's not what it says. And I would think it's uncharacteristic of GameStop, power to the players, power to the creators. Like, why would they take something away from you? That would be totally uncharacteristic. So I would imagine points are going to roll over into this new program. That's my assumption, at least. Again, time will tell. And kind of like I was saying before, we won't even know this is for sure or exactly the terms until GameStop comes out with it. These are screenshots off a computer. There's probably just some manager that received it as a company-wide memo to all the managers, took some pictures, but it's 2023. We have deep fakes with AIs, like with crazy pictures, crazy people talking. You got to take everything you see with a freaking grain of salt. I'm not going to believe this 100%. Like, it seems legit, right? But until GameStop is like, we're changing it from $15 a year to PowerUp Pro. Fuck, butchering the words. We're changing it from $15 a year PowerUp Rewards to $25 a year GameStop Pro. Until GameStop says that, this is all just a rumor to me. And also, what I'm reading this as, because I was saying I think the points would move over, because that would seem uncharacteristic for it not to be the case. Any points earned more than 12 months from the date they are added to a member's account will expire. So earned more than 12 months from the date they are added to a member's account will expire. So either when you start shopping, see, I'm thinking like too many things at once. That's why I can't get the words out right now. Any points earned more than 12 months from the date they are added to a member's account will expire. So that makes me think maybe it's implied it's not in this email specifically, or it's at a different part of the email we don't see in the screenshots. Maybe points have to roll over by December 1st, 2023, at which point, whenever they hit the pro account from the PowerUp Rewards, you then have 12 months from there to actually spend those points. Maybe something like that, because maybe the point system now And the new program is going to be slightly different. Maybe it's tied to the blockchain in some way. That's, again, just off the dome thought. That would be kind of nuts and wouldn't necessarily be simple unless they had a simple way to onboard people, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's some of my thoughts there. Totally off the dome with everything. Oh crap, better use mine. Man. It's 51 minutes already. That's crazy. But yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with GameStop Pro. I'm trying to see if I wrote anything else. And I really just think in-store experiences are going to be more of a part of what they do because everybody's online. They have no problem getting online sales, getting traffic online, but keeping foot traffic consistent over time as everything just gets more and more digital, I feel like is really important because the experience of going to the store is just different. And how many times have you been in a store in your life where you're like, I've been thinking about getting this, but like, I'm here. I'm gonna just get it. I mean, maybe you watching this, and this is how I think. I'm gonna go to GameStop first for what I want now, specifically tech items or gaming, because I just invest in the company and my viewpoints have changed, and I believe in the company, so I want to support them any which way I can. I'm not gonna go buy something from Amazon or Best Buy when I can buy it at GameStop. So other people, though, just talking about your average random customer, is in the mall, they're in GameStop. They're like, oh, you know what? I've been meaning to get a Switch, and like they just look and like the Switch is there to play, to test it. Oh, fuck it, let me just buy it. Maybe it's not even there to test. Maybe it's just there, or maybe there's a particular game that they've been eyeing because they already have a Switch. It's like Mario whatever, and they're like, oh, like I've really been playing, man, meaning to grab Mario Golf. You know what? I'm here. Let me just grab it. So maybe that person didn't even come in the store unless there was an event that day, or maybe an option to try the game. Just things like that. And I don't have the answer. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, nor should I be the one to determine that because I'm not an expert in this category. And this is why I like that Ryan Cohen is at the head of the wheel. He's at the captain of the ship. He has Matt Furlong by his side. He's got his other executives, people he's done it with in Chewy, where they started from the ground up. Whereas where he is now, started a very unique position and has just restructured the company to be in a solid spot. But this is how I felt lately too. It do be like that. I should have bought more GME at 16. OMG, GME is up 8% because they restructured their rewards program. No other possible reason at all. Hey, shout out to Badass Trader. Big homie. The bouncy bouncy line. We're back. Dorito of Doom. Geez, day 206. Wow. That's crazy. I remember when this reset after the stock dividend, and I thought, wow, it's going to take forever to get there again. 206 days later, here we are. It's crazy. Honestly, I don't go on Super Stonk as much these days. I really don't. Uh, but I try and go on once in a while just to kind of keep a pulse of what's going on. Really, Twitter is kind of my main move, and that's why I really only am on Twitter besides YouTube. So you can only keep your points that are not older than 12 months. Yeah, see your project. Thanks for stopping in. So you can keep your points that are not older than 12 months. That's what we're gonna see, First Maker. That's what, I'm honestly not too sure. I was trying to like look at it and determine. I'm not exactly sure what this means. We could ask ChatGPT to like analyze it, or Bard. Let's see Bard. Just say explain what this means in simpler terms. Sometimes like I just do that just to get perspective. Whoa. Chill. Okay. Hashtag blessed. Scott, thank you for being here. I'm blessed to be alive as well. It's a great day. GameStop's up 9.75%. Monday's in the books. Tomorrow's Tuesday. We're rocking and rolling. Let's see. Explain this in simpler terms. I mean, this is just what a robot thinks, but just to kind of get perspective. They are added to a member's account will expire. Let's say if a pro membership is not renewed, then all points expired along with the membership. Let's see. But again, this is just a robot, and this is not like, oh yeah, sure, here's a simpler explanation. Points that are not used within 12 months of being earned will expire. For example, if you earn 100 points in January 2023, they will expire in January 2024 if you do not use them. There are a few ways to keep your points from expiring, such as using them to redeem rewards, transferring them to another program, making a purchase with your credit card there. They just added, how are these last two in here? How do they get that out of that? I think that's just like an automatic. So you got to be careful with the robot. You can't just blindly trust it, but you can mess with it a little bit to get some opinions. But I always used to think too, like when I was starting, I'm like, I have to be polite to this. What if the freaking AI takes over one day? I want them to be like, hey, Tetron was always asking us questions and thanking us. So let's see what happens when I thank Bard. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. See, Bard's gonna remember that when it becomes freaking half human, half eye, and starts running around with us. Hey, Tetron, you're pretty cool. Nah, just messing around. But I did see. I wanted to bring this up again, and I actually wanted to look into it more. Um, AR Voyage. So, a location agnostic experience that allows users to find any way spot in the world and plant beautiful and intelligent virtual frost flowers for others to find, which continue to develop in the space even after the user has moved on. Users can return to the location at any time and to find the flowers that have been blossomed. So, location specific experience, allowing users to conjure up Captain Dottie in a multiple San Francisco way spots. Content is tethered, tailored specifically to the locations. Visitors must find their way there to discover a series of fun clues from Dottie, increasing the appeal and interaction abilities of the space. So there's an NFT on GameStop's NFT marketplace. I'm going to see if I can find it. Okay. Gotta get to one spot here. So there's an NFT made by AR Voyage by Nexus Studios. So it's a very simple one, but just the fact they're working together, I wonder if this is something else that GameStop's NFT marketplace or GameStop themselves could be involved with. Maybe certain type of game, maybe GameStop partners with them, allowing it to be used for the NFTs. NFT based games that are going to be created, things of that nature. I'm not too sure. I really have to look into it. As you can see from the way I'm describing it, I'm not super educated on it, but somebody had pointed out to me, I think last stream, or I saw it somewhere. So I really want to find it. What is it? AR Voyage. I think it was on here. I'm not. Oh. Okay, let's see what we got. A couple collections. Is this it? And I have to get back on the marketplace. I haven't been on in a while to really check out the latest. Spin off through this, the Beep collection. VR AR compatible with NFT is a GLB file of an animated beep that can be used anywhere in the metaverse or augmented reality. So it came up under that. I'm not exactly sure. I have to get more educated on this. But I do like this concept. And that was a little bit of what I was talking about before and how I think it would be cool if they could connect the new GameStop Pro program to their NFT marketplace in some shape or form, even if it was minor, just to really open people's eyes to it and really just tie their business together as a whole. But I think there has to be a way that it makes sense, and you can't just do it to do it type of deal. But this is almost an inverse in the sense here you have the NFTs, right? Or the digital collectibles, whatever you want to call it. I don't even like to use the word NFT that much because everyone's like, NFTs. It's so stupid. But digital collectibles here, you can have them come over into reality, obviously through a game or through something you're doing online. But if it's something on your phone, you're out and about, it kind of has that real world aspect. And I'm sure people would then be doing things at GameStop store locations with their VR. If there was, let's say GameStop launched like a world thing where you could do whatever, right? You can put your NFT anywhere, stuff like that. I don't even know exactly, but I would bet at every GameStop location, anybody who's a GameStop customer and also on GameStop NFT Marketplace is going to take out their phone and leave their mark in some shape or form or drop their NFT. I would drop Tetron at any GameStop I went to. I'd drop my logo as an NFT, just post it up on the wall in the digital format or something like that. I don't know. But what I'm saying here is just tying real world and the digital together. I really think that's a part of kind of what pushes them forwards. Why is this? I don't know why it's freezing now. What was the other one? And maybe I'm not saying this is necessarily AR Voyage either. I could be totally wrong in that. I'm just searching it up and this is what's coming up, but it's the same idea of augmented reality. This is like a more bougie collection, it looks like. But they're very interesting. I think it's very interesting. And yeah, how it's going to be tied together, I don't know. But something that's on my mind also that I forgot to say before about GameStop Pro, why now? Why would they revamp the program right now? Why not just change the current program? What's the point of actually revamp completely? Is it still a part of out with the old, in with the new mentality? Or is there a bigger reason? Is it going to be tied to the blockchain in some shape or form? Maybe I'm being a little too optimistic here with that, but it just seems like there's maybe a reason. And I think there's a very good possibility. It's just to completely be out with the old and in with the new and just show this is the new GameStop type of deal. Very much could be that. But I also think they're doing it maybe now for some reason or something they want underlying in the program, whether it's for their data or for blockchain or whatever, they want it a certain type of way for a certain type of reason. And I think they can now see that because guys like Ryan Cohen, Larry Chang, Matt Furlong, all the people at the wheel or the captains of the ship are seeing what's happening. Okay, well, this is what we can do. And then they have those board meetings. Okay, well, how can we improve? And they have those executive meetings. Okay, Matt Furlong's going to line everyone up, all the top executives, and be like, what are we going to do? What are we seeing here? What are you seeing from your team, etc. And that stuff really takes time. I've learned that from my experience working. I don't have a ton, so don't get me wrong, but I've worked, I would say, both sides of things in the sense I understand retail because I've worked in a store. I was a store employee, then I was like a sales floor coordinator, then I was an assistant manager, and then I was done with retail, right? And then I was done with school, and I started working in an office. So now I also understand in an office, there's different ways you solve problems and read numbers and analyze things than when you're actually in the store. And from seeing some of the district managers and upper management of Marshalls when I worked there, coming to visit in the stores, they seemed so unaware of what was actually happening in the stores. So for GameStop to actually see what's happening in the stores and have people running the company that actually have a good viewpoint of what's actually happening, I feel like that's allowing them to change. Like people, like the culture change. It sounds silly, maybe like like company culture, but it really matters. It really matters when you start working somewhere and everybody there is like focused on XYZ. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, he's focused on X, he's focused on W, she's focused on Q, he's focused on U. You're like, oh, I better know XYZ. That is what everybody's locked in on here. Instead of going to a company where it's like everything's all over the place. And I think that's how GameStop was before. And yeah, that's just kind of some of my viewpoints there. And I really feel like it matters because at Marshalls, they were, and I've seen Ryan Cohen at multiple stores now, and they've also said, I don't know if they're still doing it. I have to look into it again. But at some point, I read that GameStop was having executives or higher office employees, people working behind the scenes, right, or back office, not actually physically in the stores, would have to work like 1 week in the stores per year or something just to get perspective. And that really, really matters because when I was an assistant manager and we'd have the district manager coming or the regional manager, it was this huge production. I had to stay late the night before and or come in early, make it look so pretty and like all this and like the merchandise is perfect and Marshalls, we're great, yeah. Oh yeah, we have the fixtures with the right department numbers, all this stupid stuff that didn't matter. Such a waste. And the what the person saw was not even realistic of what was happening day to day. Like, wouldn't you rather come in randomly and just see how the business operates day to day? And I feel like the management at GameStop has more of that mentality, whereas management at Marshalls, if you look at their stock, TJX, they do fine, but I really feel like there are ways to improve if they took a deeper look at their business. Theirs is like a very cheap business. GameStop's more about the customer experience. They're all about the customer service, but like you don't really actually get customer service. You know what I mean? Whereas GameStop, you can actually get customer service because it's a smaller building. But that's a rant. Damn. I can't believe how time flies when I'm streaming. Already 8:07. Feels like I just started 5 minutes ago. But yeah, what a day for the price action. I wish I had got my TD open before this. Or a better chart of some kind. Who's pretty ass? Let's see. 5 minute. I mean, yeah, it's like pretty steady up all day long. Little blip in the morning, then just running. Little blip, running. Little blip, running. Let's see. I can honestly say I really haven't been looking at GameStop's chart in a while because I just am so zen to the price. Like it's so irrelevant to me what it's trading day to day. When people are like, "Oh, GameStop's up a lot or down a lot," I'm almost like, whatever. Like I am like whatever. Like I care. Like obviously I'm paying attention, but sometimes like oh this or oh that, and I'm like yeah. Like and I just think people kind of looking at me like you don't even care that much. I'm like yeah, I really don't because I'm just so able to stomach the volatility now. Whereas in the beginning it was like what is going on? You know, like back here it was like what in the heck? I'll tell you a crazy story about this day. So back in here is when I messed with options. And this was like my final strike with an option. I had a crazy call. I was up crazy money and it was running. And I had hodl mentality. I was like, I'm just riding. It's like I made decent money, but I was like, I'm gonna just keep riding. Or I don't know if on this one, because this is the point where it started like it went really well here with options, right? And then in here, it started just getting nutty, and I was like, okay, I'm just no more options, shares. And that's really when I realized that, like in this time period here, I started really going into shares on this rundown. But right here, I remember it was this really hot summer day by me, and I have this position. I'm looking at it. I'm like, do I sell it or whatever? And I just hear this really loud pop outside, like really loud. And like by me, I was like, that's not normal. And I was like, I don't think it's like a bah or something like that. But I was like, what the heck? I look outside. The garbage truck is in front of my house, and the tire popped. Like it was so hot that it just popped. I guess like too much tire pressure and it was like abnormally hot that day. So I was like, damn, all right, and they're literally like right in front of my house. So I was like, I'm gonna be like a nice guy. I'm gonna bring out some waters for them because they're probably fucking sweating their balls off. It is like 105 degrees or something. Or no, it's probably like 100, but it probably felt like even hotter. Sun is blazing. It's a little day, and then I just started talking to them because I don't know. I was just also like it was the summer. I was off work that day because with Marshalls I would always have like a random weekday off. So I was just like vibing. I was like, oh yeah, master trader, and I just started talking to this one guy, and what was he saying to me? He had this business idea, how he was gonna like have people invest in him to gamble. I don't know. It was kind of fucking stupid. I'm not gonna lie, but he was a really chill guy. Um, and I was just talking with him, and then I was like just talking to them, and I was like, yeah, like I'm just chilling in the summer out here. And, like I don't know. I was just like, I like talking to people. As you could like, I can talk, and do this stream for hours. It's because I'm a talker. Anybody that knows me is like, yo, sometimes it's so hard to get a word in with this guy, and I apologize to people for that all the time. But I just talking. I come in, and it's one of these days where the price. I come in like, yo, GME is legit down $75 from when I went outside. I was like, and it's like halted, and I come in, I'm like, what? Like something insane, or maybe it was back here that happened. Maybe it was that infamous day. I don't remember, but there was one day, and I was like. Yeah, and it was like part of like it was fuck options, and I was like my big mouth also got me distracted, but it was a funny time, and so much to be learned. This whole journey, every time I look at this chart, I try and think about what I was thinking at each time, like totally different from here to here to here to here. I remember here was like, okay, we haven't had a cycle in a minute, but it finally came. It was due. Then here it was like, oh, the split dividend worked. Here it comes. Here it comes. And then nope. And then here it was kind of like, okay, we're used to this. We're used to this. And I was like, everyone's like, we're used to this, but nothing's good. Okay, we're finally going up. Okay, well, whatever. Zen as fuck. Zen as fuck. Good earnings, makes sense. Starts dropping again. Back to the usual. Starts going up again, and here we are. Like, is it good because good earnings are coming up? It's starting to price it in. It's starting a trajectory upwards. Or is it the same song and dance? We're about to reverse lower, right? Truly, nobody knows. Truly, nobody knows. We'll have to see as time goes on. But earnings haven't been strong like this. The bottom line hasn't been strong. We're in a really high interest rate environment now. I know I keep saying that, but I really think it's important. And it's also really important to me to remember because I have always invested when interest rates have been like 1.5% or lower. Because keep in mind, I'm a young individual. I have limited experience relative to tons of other people out there in the stock market. So I'm really still learning as I go, number one. And number two, it's about I totally forgot my number 2 point. I tried to throw in a number 1.4 and I maybe forgot my second one, so forget it. You could even throw your other NFTs into the walls inside that room and apartment. Exactly, Freshmaker, exactly. Hold on, I want to check something. Oh yeah, I totally forgot there. That was the part. Oh my gosh. But I want to see any other things. Oh yes, I forgot to mention I can't stream this Wednesday. I'm gonna try and get a stream in soon with either Nathan or John, two friends of the show, trying to get them back on soon. So maybe I'll run one of those Thursday this week, or I'll have to see if I can, because Wednesday I do have something happening, so I won't be able to stream then. But I'm definitely trying to keep videos coming. I just dropped a video also. Be sure to watch that after this if you have a chance. And I have another good video coming out, kind of funny. I think it's pretty good. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. And might have to wrap it up here. I'm kind of through everything I wanted to say. Or, no, I mean, I don't want to wrap it up yet. It's still a little early. I'll go a little bit longer. So, what I've been doing a lot of lately, to just kind of talk and research out loud, is I really use AI to help me understand aspects of finance I don't understand, specific parts of a company's earnings. Yesterday, I was going through a ton of different companies' balance sheets, operating statements, income statement, uh, cash flow statement, all of that stuff, what their debt looks like, and really just trying to get perspective of what other companies are doing out there and what a good company looks like versus a bad company. I was looking at growth names, value names, and definitely the companies that have a strong balance sheet are in a great position right now. And at first I was like, oh, well, the companies with only cash are in great shape because they don't have to pay any interest on their debt and they can earn a ton of money in cash equivalents and marketable securities at about 4.5, 4.7%, right? Something around there just for having cash. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. They're making a ton of money. Then I saw companies with debt and I was like, oh, well, why would they want to have debt in this environment? It's probably bad. But I'm like, I have to look at the debt itself. So, for example, I was looking at Pepsi. I should probably pull it up. That would help. But I was looking at Pepsi and I was like, oh, okay. Well, why would they want to have debt? They could pay it off. They're huge. They're free cash flow positive. They already have dividends. They're doing share buybacks. Where is it? Thank you. I want to look at annual earnings, Form 10K. So it's like, why would they have debt, right? But then you look right here. I would describe this as good debt. As long as they're earning more than this interest on their debt in their operations, then it makes sense for them to have this debt. So they took this on in a time period at various different times, right? And you can look more down here. Like, this is just how I do it. There's this extremely large 10K. But where I'm going with this is it makes sense when the interest rate's low, because if you saw all of those debt amounts up there, which you're going to pull up again, get it more detailed. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'll show you this real quick. So payments of long-term debt, these are the payments they're making. This is from issuance of new long-term debt. And then you can see in here cash dividends, share repurchases, all methods of delivering value to shareholders, which I think things GameStop will continue to get into over time as they just really grow their position to be in really good financial standing. Debt redemptions, cash tender offers. Where is it? It's going to show one other thing, but I can't find it now. Yeah, okay, I'll go back to it another time. But I'm just going to go back to the top also just to give perspective. If Pepsi is not even investing this money into their business in any shape or form, this cash that they would earn from taking on this loan, and obviously they can't make these loans now, or sorry, they can't borrow this money now at the current interest rates we're at. They can't get these interest rates listed. But the fact they got them prior to interest rates rising, so now they could theoretically have just taken that cash and leave it on their balance sheet and earn solid interest through cash equivalents and marketable securities. So it's really fascinating to look at an example like Pepsi. Another one I found was Costco. Same type of deal where you think, oh, why would you have debt in a high interest environment? That used to be my initial thought. Like if I look on Yahoo Finance, and again, the reason I'm saying all this is, or if you're like, oh, what are you even talking about? I'm trying to explain my thought process over time of how I've started to view stocks and understand what a strong balance sheet actually looks like. I used to just look here, right? I go, okay, well, Pepsi's a good company, right? They've been around forever. They buy back stock. They have dividends. The cash flow looks good, but oh, they have so much debt. Like, oh yeah, compared to their cash, I don't know about that. But then when you look at what that is, and you understand how much they're paying relative to what their cash flow is and what they're doing elsewhere, and I'm not an avid Pepsi investor, so I couldn't tell you their next big move or something like that. But generally speaking, in a high inflation environment, they're able to keep pace because people aren't necessarily thinking, oh, well, I'm going to buy less chips, I'm going to buy less soda. And this is generally speaking. So, generally speaking, consumer goods or major consumer, general, I don't know, whatever you call it, necessity consumer, whatever you want to call it, basically, in a high inflation environment, there's going to be people buying their products still. Of all the businesses you want to invest in when there's high inflation and fears of recession or fears of falling revenue, it's probably not going to be products at a grocery store. That's kind of just what I'm saying here. So overall, you look at the debt, you go, oh, it's bad. But when you look underneath, it's like, oh, this is what's actually happening with the company. And that's really what's helped me understand. You have to really, really read the numbers. I'm not sure if I described that in the best way, but I've been trying to look at other companies now recently to get a good perspective of just what it means to run a company efficiently. Check chat because I'm rambling. Read the second last message too. Oh, my bad. I messed that. Damn. Last week, my sister bought a pre-owned Switch from GameStop website, and man, it looks like a completely new one. That's awesome. That's awesome, Freshmaker. I low-key need a Switch, so maybe I should do the pre-owned. I'm glad to hear it was solid. That's good to know. And I do feel good that if I am going to buy a pre-owned Switch, GameStop's got my back. They're going to replace it if something's wrong. I just go to them and be like, hey, yeah, Power Pro member, soon to be GameStop Pro member. You mind if you just help me here? And this next one I'm going to show you guys, Fortinet. So I want to see, where is the yearlies? Oh, there it is. Whatever. Let's go to annual. No. Okay. Just give me the annual report. Okay, so This is a company called Fortinet. They are in cybersecurity. And by the way, quick side note, great website if you guys ever want to research companies and just look at them as a whole without necessarily going to the 10Ks, because sometimes, it really depends on the type of research you're doing. If you're just trying to look at general information, I think Yahoo Finance is good, but you're really not going to get the details. If you're trying to look at information over a long period of time, then you would want to look at macro trends, this website. So it shows you their shares outstanding over time. If I want to look at price, I mean, that's not helpful. I can get that anywhere else. But you can look at their margins over time, all these sorts of things. Like, let's see, GME. Gross margin. This says the most recent is 23%. Operating is -5%. Net -5%. Well, see the number ticking up for the first time in a while. And generally, let's see where it's worst. This is where, no, this is where Ryan Cohen got involved pretty much. But really, this only tells you part of the story. Again, this is like an overview. And in GameStop's case, where things are shifting, I don't think this is the best website to use. I'm just looking on the spot there. I think it's more for revenue and profit, for example. Like, we know GameStop's revenue's fallen off for a while, but it has stabilized as of late. I think it'll kind of stay stable and eventually grow. And kind of I was talking about earlier in the stream, if you caught it, the bottom line is really the focus right now. So if you go to like net income, you just get an overall picture here. See, it was positive last quarter. The trailing 12 months, though, that just shows you the past 12 months as a whole. Shares outstanding. So this is a good website for just looking in general at information. So this was the, issuance of shares right here. I'm not sure why part of it got misreported right here or what that little bump is. But as you can see, they raised capital through selling shares and they haven't sold any since. As well as creating shares for compensation for executives as part of their sign-on deals, stuff like that. But going back to what I want to show about Fortinet, they took on debt first time ever, which actually I could show you right here real quick. Also assets, liabilities, long-term debt. See, GameStop took care of it. All they got is the French loan right here, this tiny little bit. Fortinet. Oh my God, sorry, Freshmaker, I'm gooning. Read the segment. No, the message that starts with "there's an NFT." Let's see. Wait, where is it? Am I stupid? Oh yeah, you can even throw your other NFTs onto the wall outside that room or apartment. Wait, I don't see the other one. If there's another one, my bad. Maybe I'm gooning. No, the message that starts with "there is an NFT." Damn, I'd be missing chat messages. My bad. I'm gonna quickly make this point here. So I looked at Fortinet, right, and I was like, why would a company that's performing this well over time take on this debt out of nowhere? What is the point of this? What? Oh yeah, so I did say it. Freshmaker, my bad. I'm losing it. Let's see, cash on hand. So they have good cash on hand, right? Long-term debt. Why would you take that? In a generally higher interest rate environment, I was like, what is wrong with them? Why would they get infiltrated all of a sudden? Their margins seem fine. Their revenue seems fine. Right? Everything looks good. Why would they take on debt? And then I looked a little bit deeper. I was like, let me actually take a look at what their debt financing was. Let's see. Where's it at? Bruh, why is it? I literally just saw it yesterday. Okay, we'll just go to the balance sheet to start. Be able to find it from there. Or I don't know why the Control F doesn't seem to be working. Balance sheet is definitely on here. Oh, this is the wrong form. That's probably why. There we go. Okay. That would be why. So I was like, what are they doing with their debt? So as of December 31st, we had an aggregate of 990.4 million in indebtedness outstanding under our senior notes. Under the agreements governing our indebtedness, we are permitted to incur additional debt. This debt and any debt we may incur in the future may adversely affect our financial condition. Future financial results by one of the following things. So they're just saying the risk right there. That is not what I wanted. It's the next part. Wrote it at Twitter to you. All right, good looks, good looks. Let's see. Going to where I want to here. Is this it? See, they're also repurchasing stock. You can see on the line below. Come on. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Here we are. No. Nope. See, 10Ks are very hard to find stuff on the spot. So many details. Yes, thank you. On March 5th, 2021, we issued 1 billion aggregate principal amounts of senior notes, consisting of 500 million aggregate principal amount of 1% notes due March 15, 2026, and 500 million aggregate principal amount of 2.2% notes due March 15, 2023. We carry the senior notes at face value, less unamortized discount on our consolidated balance sheets. As the senior notes bear interest at a fixed rate, we have no financial statement risk associated with changes in interest rates. Photo note 11, debt in part 2, item 8 of the annual report, Form 10K. So as you can see here, they took on debt at half of it's at a 1% interest rate. The other half of it is at 2.2%. That's extremely low. Because if you think about it, that cash is just boosting the total cash on their balance sheet, whereas they could pay this off instantaneously. But why would they when they'll literally earn more with the cash on cash equivalents in the current state of the market? So to me, that's good management and making a smart decision. And there's just one random example I happen to find of this. Because when I was looking at that, I'm like, why would this company do this? But they issued it on March 5th, 2021. So really just before the interest rates started being hiked. So they really were kind of ahead of the curve. And that really just shows me a lot about people running this company and the position they put themselves in relative to the market we're in now. And if you look at Fortinet stock, it's pretty much at a 52-week high today, if I'm not mistaken. Touched his 52-week high, but just a random example there. I'm going to check out what Freshmaker sent me. Oh, there's an NFT called Modern Loft. If you own it, you can go into that room with the help of the Voyage AR website. You just have to connect your wallet where you hold the NFT in. Oh, okay. Good looks. Freshmaker, you're my guy. Freshmaker literally always has my back. In the beginning of Tetron Live, I couldn't even get this headset working. I didn't even have a good headset, and I finally got one. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not working. I'm going to have to return it. And he's like, yo, make sure your mic is plugged all the way in. Make sure your mic is plugged in. And here we are. The mic is plugged in all the way, and it started working, and here we are today. It's origin to Tetron right there. Appreciate you, Freshmaker. But yeah, that is really dope. Maybe I should get one. Modern Loft. I'm going to pull it up. I know I had seen it before. Where's the marketplace? Oh, damn, I thought I had it up. Oh no, here it is. Let's pull it up here. Bruh. Let me get one word or 2 words. Is it case sensitive? See all results. What's up, family? Glad I caught a live stream. Hey, Bam, what up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Let's see if I can find this. But yeah, just kind of browsing around, talking the latest. You know, it's been an interesting day, interesting last week for GameStop, and it's funny how the market is just totally unaware of the fact that the U.S. is about to default. Like it seems to be just chugging along like whatever, the market as a whole. Even though the U.S. is about to default and banks are still not in great shape. One of the Fed Reserve members, I think it was Bullard, came out today, or I think that's his name, and said, "Oh, we might have 2 more rate hikes before the end of the year." What would that do to banks? Their assets are already below face value with the rate hikes over time. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. And damn, let's see if we can find it this way. Always gooning. What is this? Kotaku. Always shitting on GameStop. See? Kotaku. That 9/11. Everything's so controversial. Damn. Fresh Maker, I don't know why I can't find it. But I know which one you're talking about. I saw it last time. You have to connect your wallet where you hold the NFT in. It's pretty dope. Damn, I really want to play Curaverse. I need a computer that can run it. And Undead Blocks. Curaverse actually looks awesome. Cause yeah, just still on the stupid Surface laptop. I didn't even check out the new Buck Season 2. All chilling. The album. Sensational Soaks. Yeah, I gotta get caught up on the NFT marketplace, that is for sure. But I would really be interested if Voyage AR is gonna do more. That would definitely be super dope to see. Or just see more. What did you say? If you own it, you can go into that room with the help of the Voyage AR website. You need to connect your wallet where you hold the NFT in. So if they do more stuff like that, or maybe GameStop does something with them where there'd be like a special thing you could do to like unlock like a digital GameStop or something like that, maybe that would be cool. Maybe like coupons for the NFT marketplace to incentivize even more buying, something dope like that. But what's Planet Quest? Is that another game? Sci-fi cinematic multiverse built with the fan community, including an upcoming game of exploration, survival, and intergalactic discovery. Centralized storyline where fans vote on the outcome of each story chapter, with novels and a comic book in the making. Interesting. See, I think a big part of all this stuff too, when I look at a project like this, are they going to push forward? You know, there's a game plan laid out right here in this little description, but it's really about evolving and improving and actually doing the project, because I think a lot of times with a lot of these things, generally speaking, outside of GameStop, just projects as a whole or people building as a whole, they get discouraged just because it's not working. It takes a long time. It's hard, right? It's not supposed to be easy. So, really, the big part of what kind of makes GameStop special to me is everybody's like, there's a drive for it, if that makes sense. There's like a passion behind it. There's a mindset behind it. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hold this for a while. It's no, I like what this company's doing. I believe in the company. There's something truly unique going on here. I want to hold it. That seems to be the general mantra of people at GameStop. And I think it goes beyond the shareholders to the customers to the creators. So, really, what helps them grow and new games become relevant that have Web3 already embedded in them on the games that happen to be on the GameStop marketplace, right? It's going to take time for these games to grow and become massive and new normals, right? Like Fortnite came out of nowhere. All these different games come out of nowhere. At some point, the idea is the more creators that are just developing things in general on GameStop's marketplace, there'll be more games that pop up and more relevance that ties to GameStop. So it's really about everybody driving forwards. And this, for example, this project, Planet Quest, actually drives forward and creates an upcoming game of exploration, survival, and intergalactic discovery, and a centralized storyline where fans vote on the outcome in each story and chapter. So just trying, right? And maybe it doesn't work out exactly the way they say there, but just going forward and actually creating it so different people try it. And at some point, I think the idea is that one of these games will just hit massively and it'll really blow up the idea of gaming and Web3 together, especially as streamers come over. And I've also thought or theorized about GameStop getting streamers as partners to maybe do like GameStop times like Dr. Disrespect streaming. Because I know he's tweeted about Web3 before, that he thinks owning your own assets is legit. So I do find that interesting. I wonder if GameStop would want to partner with someone like him. I think that could be super cool. Um, yeah, or maybe he's sponsored by GameStop, something like that, because brand sponsorship is a huge thing, and seeing a streamer have a brand sponsor is a huge deal because in my eyes what marketing really is about now is the individual that's marketing the product. So working with a creator is such a massive thing for businesses because people connect with the creator. So if the creator's like, yeah, I'm about this product, or yeah, I'm about this company, people are connected to that person's like, oh, if they say it, like that's for real. And where that really kind of clicked with me recently, especially, is I look at guys like iShowSpeed, Kai Kanat, Aiden Ross, what's the other guy's name? Jadea, or no, what's his name? Jadeon, or like something like that. But to just have like a certain type of thing. Well, I guess Jadeon's a YouTuber, he's not really a live streamer. I don't know, whatever. It just popped up in my feed. But their audiences are massive, especially a guy like iShowSpeed, and he just says like random stuff. Like I don't even know. Like, I've never really even watched it. I don't even understand it. But like he's huge, and anything he ties to, there's tons of people that will just buy whatever it is because he buys it, if that makes sense. Or all of a sudden their perception on that brand would be positive because he's behind it, if that makes sense. Not that GameStop's going to go partner with iShowSpeed. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying GameStop could partner with somebody relevant in their space, the gaming space, that people be like, oh, Dr. Disrespect is about GameStop? That's pretty dope. I didn't know GameStop was still with the times. And then people, you know what I'm saying? Perception change. Oh, I used to go to GameStop. I don't know. That's kind of something I've thought about over time. And I just keep using Dr. Disrespect as an example because he's tweeted about Web3 before, and he was like, "If you don't believe in owning your own assets, you're an idiot," or something like that. Something funny, just because how he is. But yeah, sent you a Reddit link on Twitter. Good looks, Freshmaker. Let's check it out. Let's see. Protocol Gemini, Metagates, Modern Loft, NFT, and 3D. Oh, okay. Let me send it to myself here. I'm just gonna type it in. Just hope it comes up. All right, let's check this out. I want to see it. And good looks, Freshmaker, for real. Good looks, much appreciated. What up, gents and genets? I've seen a few Modern Loft NFT posts that just launched on the GameStop NFT marketplace, and a lot of people aren't too sure of how it works yet. Thought I'd give a little rundown and show you a video of my Loft walkthrough. Protocol Gemini launched their Metagates, which is a whole monster in itself. This is just a small use showcase of what the Modern Loft can do with some of the NFTs you own on the marketplace, specifically some of the 3D assets a lot of you are holding from Cybercrew. That's very interesting because Cybercrew is one of the biggest projects on GameStop's marketplace right now. If you only own one of these modern loft metagates, if you head over to ar.voyage, you can connect your GameStop wallet, then click My Metagates, and it will show your loft NFTs. You can view, then edit them, and it will load the base layout, which includes a big front garage type room, kitchen, living room, office, and upstairs bedroom. You can edit the color and texture of many of the furniture items and begin decorating your loft with the various NFTs in your wallet. You can change the type and color of the frame, size, and spacing, etc. You can also upload the Cybercrew assets that you have. It's fucking dope. I spent like an hour messing around with the little details and having some fun customizing the furniture, NFT, and asset placement. It was way cooler than I expected. Let's see. Oh, okay. Is this how? This is why I do these live streams. I really appreciate comments like yours, Freshmaker, and putting me onto information because it just has me start thinking about other things. Is this how I see? I've seen videos like this on Twitter of like this type of format, but I didn't really understand. Wow, that's super dope. Wow, this makes me want to buy a loft. How much are they? They're probably an insane amount, right? Before I check out the rest, I literally have to know right now. Or I'll find it after. Prior to this, I didn't know how to access Cyber 3D assets from the NFTs I own either. So if you guys wanted to download them, you head over to Cybercrew website, connect your wallet, then click your inventory. It will show all the NFTs you have in your wallet. Scroll to one you want and click the download button. That'll bring up the available downloads for each NFT. The files you want to download in order to upload to your Modern Loft are the GLB files. Hopefully this covers some of the details and how you can begin to use your NFTs and how they can be integrated in the Modern Loft and future Metagate releases. Hope you have fun decorating your lofts and look forward to seeing your creations. Dang, thanks for the rewards, everyone. Glad you're finding some value in the write-up. Editing on mobile jacked up my video format. Had to re-upload to fix it. All right, let's watch the rest. It's only half watching, but this is dope. Yeah, I really want to do this now. They're probably mad money. So we squeezing or what? Butter killer. Maybe. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Or maybe the next day. I don't know. But as for me, I like the stock long term. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? It blew my mind yesterday. No, this is super dope. Oh, I love that. It's got the dollar end game by Peruvian Bull. No, wait, can you scroll through it? Oh, wow, that's really dope, the customization aspects. It's like so simple, but there's so many options. Like you can change the size, the frame. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, pretty dope. So I guess I'd have to see the process of, I don't know what he meant about the Cybercrew thing here. Click your wallet, then click your inventory. It'll show all the NFTs you have in your wallet. Scroll the one you want, then click the download button. It'll bring available downloads for each NFT. Damn, I want a loft now. Let's see. What they just said in the marketplace. Okay, that's interesting. I spent about an hour in mine today. I was really stoked. It's the future. I turned some of my photos into NFTs, so my walls are plastered with personal photos already. But my bedroom is for all the bomb ass stuff I have gotten from the marketplace. Also, I would like to purchase this loft in real life soon. I think Pulte and Protocol Gemini should get together and make some plans. LOL. That'd be super dope. So cool. I feel like money well spent, well earned. Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's really dope because it kind of just shows you the customability through such a simple format. That's what I really like about it specifically. But it's a whole, it's dope. Is there a link to the NFT marketplace itself for it? I don't know why. Maybe it's called Metagates. Ah, here we go. Oh, I was getting mad dry. Oh, I mean, it ain't cheap, but it ain't that expensive. It's pretty fucking dope. Step into your spacious and sleek modern loft, where cozy elegance meets refined design. The open concept apartment includes a kitchen, convenient office space, and a dedicated gallery for sophisticated NFT curation. Interesting. Damn, why would someone just buy this one for double price? That's weird. But they're all listed at, let's see, 54.71. 54.71. Pretty much all 54.71. Damn, these all just came out. I really might cop one. I'm not even kidding. The only thing is, if I try and stream it, it's not going to work because I have a stupid Surface laptop. But it'd be really sick if I could cop one of these and then you guys could all pull up to it. And then I could be streaming and be like, yo, we're out here in the Tetron virtual crib. Something like that. I don't know. But that could be mad fun. I mean, that's really the whole fun of this, seeing it all develop. And I'm really glad you told me about this Fresh Maker. Really, thank you so much. From the mic to the modern loft, here we are. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it's all a learning process out here, guys. It really is. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope everyone has a great night. Definitely, keep an eye on the modern loft and this Voyage AR stuff. It's super interesting. I'm gonna try and learn more about it. I feel like I've now scratched the surface, but there's definitely more to understand. Talk to my buddy Bard and my other buddy ChatGPT, see if they got any info next time. Maybe they can help out. And little friend Google too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Whether you're watching this live or watching it back, either way, I appreciate you. Drop a like, subscribe. Have a good night.